Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Diana. Today we are talking about Psalm 139. We are walking through Psalm 139. This is a favorite psalm for so many people, and it's a psalm that we can use to guide our own conversations in prayer with God. Well, in Psalm 139, we are going to learn that God is all-powerful and He's everywhere. The words for that are omnipotent and omnipresent, the theological terms. But Psalm 139, it's soon going to remind us that there is no place that God is not, and there is no power that is stronger than God. But first, listening to the opening verse, it's found in Psalm 139, verse 1. It says this, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You have searched me and you know me," to be searched and to be known. You see, God is all-knowing. Omniscient is the theological official term for that as well. Psalm 139 reminds us that God knows you and I fully. And don't forget, God absolutely, completely knows molecular biology, physics, architecture, and agriculture work. He is perfectly brilliant in His understanding of music and movement and all the inner workings of, well, everything. And God is perfectly brilliant in His knowing of you. We don't often stop to ponder the fact that God sees us. He knows your thoughts and your actions, your hurts and your tendencies, your desires even. He has the insight on you, all of the insight on you. One commentary put it this way. He said that God, and I quote, "arrived at a full knowledge of all my thoughts and feelings and ways." I liked that phrase, that God has already arrived at a full knowledge of you. Think about the beauty and the safety found in that truth, that God knows you. That God knows you and God still chooses to draw near to you, to pursue you, to invite you into His full forgiveness through belief in Jesus. He knows you fully and He always invites you into His good purposes. Have you ever asked God what He thinks about you? Maybe as you're driving or out for a walk or sitting in your favorite place today. Have you ever asked God, what do you think about me? And then listen for what He says. Now remember, the voice of God is not accusing, condemning, or laced with disgust. John 3:17 reminds us of that. It says, God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through Jesus. It is a pursuing, inviting voice, not a condemning perspective that you'll hear. It tells the truth, God's voice does, with grace and goodness and love as His motive. You see, the Holy Spirit absolutely may convict you. That's part of the Holy Spirit's job. But the Holy Spirit convicts to tell you the truth about how you might have missed the mark of God's ways. And the Spirit of God does so in order to guide you towards the full forgiveness that Jesus offers and wants you to receive, and the full guidance and support to now follow in His ways. So finally, in light of today's verse that says, "You have searched me and you know me, Lord," have you ever paused to consider that God knows fully the other people in your life too? He knows fully your spouse if you're married, your family members, your coworkers, your teammates, your friends, the acquaintances that are around you, or the folks that you're leading and interacting with. What if today you asked God to show you part of His perspective on someone in your life? You can ask God for help to see people the way that God sees them. You can ask God for help on how to serve others with His perspective on their insights. You can ask God to help you. What a difference that can make if we yield our conclusions about people and how they are to God's perspective. Give it a try and see what happens. Today's verse, it reminds us that God knows His people fully, and that is good news. We'll see you next time.